Meya here. Welcome back to my channel. And I'm just really excited for you guys to be here because you guys are staying in tune with my journey and I appreciate you guys for that. If you are new to my channel, definitely go subscribe and click that notification button so you guys can get the updates of when Naptroyal actually drops videos. You guys have to stay connected with my brand. Naptroyal means is elevating your natural being to prosper in everyday life. And on my channel, I'll be dropping content as far as loc care, and then also just my journey with entrepreneurship, business tips, and so forth. Because as I'm on this journey, you guys, I am going to be sharing my experiences with you guys, and also just, what I've done to excel to where I'm at, to excel to the level that I'm at today. So I just wanted to give you guys my backstory of where I came from, and I'm actually just really excited to be able to share this because I share it with my clients, but I haven't really shared it with the masses of like where I came from, why I am the way that I am, and why I exclude myself from certain situations. Because I feel like a lot of people give me well, I don't even say a lot, but some people give me backlash because I remove myself from situations, and it's just nothing personally, but when it's like, for me, where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to be, I don't have that type of energy for that type of thing that's taking course. So I just kind of move around from that. And I know a lot of you guys can kind of relate to that when you guys start witnessing things that you're not really, like, you really rock with. So you kind of remove yourselves, and then all of a sudden everybody calls you fake. Don't worry about them people. But anywho, so my name is Meya Wright, and I come from a single parent household. I actually have 3 older brothers who are all successful in their own way. And for me, my mom, she actually took me away from Minnesota because I'm originally born in Minnesota, but she had brought me down to Nebraska. Now Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, like, don't nobody ever hear about Omaha, Nebraska, but shout out to my family out there in Omaha. Like, I'm not dissing y'all or anything like that, but for a child who was in elementary school, didn't grow up around family, don't have aunties, uncles, cousins, or anything like that, I just grew up really different. Like, I didn't have the humble home. Like, my mom, she went to work, and she made sure that I had food on the table. She was able to give me the energy that she was able to give me. But, yeah, I lacked a lot of discipline. I was very, like, more so trying to figure out what's out there. I was very curious, because, like, my mom, she always would put me in programs, and which is not a bad thing at all, because obviously, like, when you're a child, you have to stay active or else you get into stuff that you're not supposed to anyway. But I was introduced to a lot of good things when my mom put me in those programs, so I'm definitely not knocking her for that. She did the best that she could. But sometimes when, like, as you get older, you kind of start realizing that you're missing elements in your life. And I noticed that I really lack discipline for the most part. I really lack, like, the love of household, like family and stuff like that. So I grew up on a block, and I had actually met 3 people on that block. Well, 2 people on that block, and then I met a few friends from elementary, and we became really close friends. As we got older, we separated, but we still come together like we never left. So long story short, I feel like the hardest part was when I graduated, and my family showed up, but it was my graduation party that kind of like made me feel some type of way even more, because like we prepared for like the biggest like graduation party ever, and nobody showed up. We wasted so much money. Like, it was so crazy. Like, all the people that I invited, they didn't really show. Like, they didn't show up. I had a few people who showed up, like my good friend Amber, she showed up, her sister showed up, Curtis showed up, Rachel showed up, and that was about it. I believe, like, my family had left, so they weren't actually there for that. And I was really heartbroken because I realized like I didn't really have a lot of people. So growing up, I didn't have a lot of people in my life, and still to this day, I really don't have a whole bunch of people. I have people who support me, I have people who check in with me from time to time. But y'all, my phone stay dry. It's another topic for another day. But this all ties into why I more so kind of like started betting on myself. Because you know, depression is real. Loneliness is real. I was suicidal at one point. I was raped at a very young age. I didn't even know that it was considered rape until I kind of talked to somebody about it, and come to find out it was rape. But it was so crazy because at that moment in time, it's just like you really try to fit in with people, and you really, like, for me, I grew up and I didn't feel like I had an identity. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know where I came from. And I noticed that the people around me, they like had their family, and I didn't have my family. So it was just like, yo, like I felt neglected in a way because, you know, my mom, she was always working. And then like when she put me in these activities, sometimes she couldn't even show up. Like there was track meets that she missed. But she was always there for like my choir events. But it was just the stuff that she put me in. She wasn't like really there. So I felt like I lacked support at the time. At the time, it was just kind of like it hurt. Because it's like, you know, as a child, you see everybody else in their family, and then you're like, where's my family at? Like, why isn't there someone there for me? Like, you know, like it really hurt. So growing up, it was just like, yo, like, ain't nobody there for you. You don't got support. Like, going to other people's family events and stuff, it felt different for me because it's like, why don't I have this with my family? Like, it started becoming like a resentment. Like, I shouldn't even be here. Like, I'm like the youngest, you know what I'm saying? So I felt some type of way growing up. Like, why isn't there anybody there for me? Like, why am I the outcast? Like, why I got 3 older brothers and they don't check in on me? When I see brothers sticking up for their sisters and stuff like that, it's just like, why weren't y'all there for me though? Like, I didn't ask to be here. So why do I feel like I have to suffer in order to be here? Like, I didn't choose this life. Like, you know, so I grew up with a lot of resentment, and it was a lot of times where it was just like, I'm getting all emotional and stuff because it's like, how much time does it take for somebody to come and check in on me? Like, I grew up not wanting to be around people because I felt like I was a burden. I felt like people didn't really want me around. They felt sorry for me. And so, like, growing up like that for years, it kind of really took a toll on me. And so, like, what was it? In 2009, I actually attempted like suicide. I actually tried to kill myself. But obviously I'm still here. Because God was like, it's not your time. Like, I literally went and got me a rope, and I really like tied the rope around my neck. And at that moment in time, I was thinking like, you know what? Even if I kill myself, ain't nobody gonna know. Like, when I tell you my phone was dry, like, nobody checked in on me. Like, nobody. And so, like, that hurt even more. Like, it made me want to just kill myself even more. But me trying to hang myself, that didn't work. It's the rope snapped. It just didn't work at all. I tried to cut myself. That didn't work. I was just like, why am I in this life? Like, why is this life my life? So, let me rewind. So, like, when I graduated from high school, like, my brother asked me to come and watch my niece. I'm young, I was supposed to go to cosmetology school around that time, but instead I decided to go help my brother out and help him wash my niece. So I go out there, watch my niece, whatever the case may be. He ended up moving or something like that. I ended up moving in with him at his new space. And I got kicked out for disrespecting his home, and also a misunderstanding. So I'm homeless. Like, I think I was like in my early 20s, I was homeless. I was blessed to be able to stay with a person that I was working with at the time. And she really helped me out. Like, she really helped me out. But it's crazy because I was a ball of emotions, because it's like right when I get with my family, I feel like my family kind of like shut me out. Like, they kicked me out. Like, they didn't take out the time to understand me, where I was coming from. Like, you got it good. Like, you had your brothers, but I didn't have nobody growing up. So I'm like, you kicked me out for a misunderstanding. But it was all good. So I started out homeless, like in my early 20s. I didn't get my own place till about 2009. I was staying with my dad at the time, and he had his own particular rules. And I grew up in a Buddhist household. And so like when it came to religion, they were Baptist. I believe that's Baptist. Yeah, they're Baptist. And I was just like, you can never force your religion on anybody else, because it's like, isn't that like y'all rule not to force your religion upon somebody? And so I was young, so I was combative. So like I was working, and the requirements was to have a job or go to school and go to church. And that was the only way that I could really stay at that house, is if I was going to school and I would go to church, or I was working. And so it was just too much. So, I had got into a situation, where it had got to a point to where I just really didn't want to be here anymore. So I tried to join the military, for all the wrong reasons. And, when I tried to join the military, they were like, yeah, you gotta lose 4 pounds. I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. I'm already a thick girl. I was leaner back then, but I was just like, 4 pounds, and y'all can't accept me for 4 pounds. Like, obviously I'm gonna lose it. So I felt like, yeah, that's not the route to go. But fast forwarding, so just from that point, it was just like, I'm young. I keep getting kicked out. I'm not accepted. I am who I am, whoever I am at that time, because I still didn't have an identity. And so moving forward, like, it wasn't until it was 2010, right? And no, I take it back. 2012. 2012, y'all. I had walked away from my job. Just fast forward. 2012, I walked away from my job. I was in jail from February. I went to jail February 13th. I went to jail for February 13th because I worked at a position where I wasn't making enough money to pay my bills and to pay for traffic tickets, right? So I went to jail for traffic tickets, traffic violations, driving under suspension, no insurance. I had a hit and run. Y'all, I was doing the most. It was survival mode, right? So I had went there, I did that, and when I got out, I was walking on eggshells. The crazy part is, y'all, I was in jail. Calling my job like, yo, I'm in jail. Obviously, you guys heard that. Like, I can't come to work. So they were just like, yeah, just give us a call. So it was a blessing that my sister, she was able to put money on my books, so I was able to call her and stuff like that. But then it was crazy because in that moment in time, like, I just remember, like, I'm like, yo, I'm here. Like, it was my decision. I did what I did. Like, I don't regret nothing because I was in survival mode. I was doing what I had to do. Like, how was I going to get to work? How was I going to get to these places? I got a whole vehicle and you tell me I couldn't drive it? Oh, yeah, y'all tripping. So, went to jail for that. I get out of jail, right? I get out of jail and they're like, yeah, you have so many points because, okay, so I was in jail for like 2 weeks. I was on house arrest the third week. And so on house arrest, they talk about something, yeah, you only got, you walking on eggshells with this job. So as soon as I got off of house arrest, it was this one call I had received, and the lady was tripping. Like, she was tripping, like, mad hard. Talk about something, why you guys charge my card for this? Because I was working for DirecTV at the time. And so, like, they was telling me, they were like, yeah, I didn't want this. And it was just, anybody who worked in customer service know, like, you know, you gotta be a strong individual mentally to be dealing with people yelling in your ear all day. So on that call, I ended up getting I got docked for it because they said that I didn't handle the call correctly, because I ended up sending it over to my supervisor. So they were like, yeah, you never you didn't build rapport with her, or, you know, you didn't try to upsell her. Sir, like, the reason why she calling is because we charged her card, right? So at that point, I was like fed up. Like, during that time, like when I was working there, I was trying to transition from full-time to part-time. And so they was taking forever, literally, to transfer me over to part-time. So after that call, I was so frustrated. I remember this girl named Boo. She was just like, you really gonna quit? I was like, yeah, like I'm done with this. So I literally walked out my job in 2012. Walked out of my job 2012. I was so stressed out. When I tell y'all, that next day, like, I don't get it twisted, I cried my eyeballs out, because I was just like, you know what? I gotta literally trust myself in this process. I gotta bank on myself, because it seems as though anytime I'm relying on anybody else, nobody is following through for me. Like, nobody has fallen through for me. And it was at that moment in time, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna do hair. I'm gonna braid hair, and I'm gonna be the coldest braider. I'm gonna go at it at 110%. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. Y'all got me messed up. I know how talented I am. I know how creative I am. Like, y'all got me messed up. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I can't make it. Ain't no way. So my supervisor at the time, my team lead at the time, she was just like, are you sure you don't want to put 2 weeks in? I was just like, nah, like, I'm good. Like, I got this. I was like, I know how talented I am. I know I'm gonna make it. To this day, I have yet to have a job. I remember, you know what? I take it back. I tried to do a temp agency at one point in time, and when I realized I got $300, I said, y'all got me messed up. All these hours that I put in, all this overtime I put in, I had a $300 check. It's different when you've earned $300 in a day versus it taking an entire week for you to get $300. It's a complete difference. Anybody would know. Look, I ain't even gonna go into that. But y'all, like, it's crazy, because it's like every time I bet it on myself, I always elevate it, and I move further, and I move further in my life. So I started working for myself, banging it out, building up clientele, giving business cards to my clients, passing out business cards, getting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, posting, just going hard, y'all. Like, when I tell you that, like, it was the consistency. And it's crazy, because over the course of time, like, if I felt like I lost that consistency. But now, like, you can't tell me nothing. Ain't no way you can't. No, like, I know it's consistency, but when you allow emotions, that's the part. When you allow emotions to start taking over your life, like, you start making decisions based off of emotions. So it's crazy, because it was in 2015, right? I was talking to my cousin, and my cousin was like, yeah, because I was like, we need to build a business for our family. I was like, we business oriented. We got this. We could do this, and we could build a legacy for our family. So I'm talking to my cousin, and she like, yeah. So I was just like, you know what? At that time, I was allowing people driving my car. I had a brand new car, y'all. It was like a little Nissan Versa. It was cute. but I worked from home, so I was never driving my car. And so, you know, people started disrespecting my car, just was driving it all crazy, didn't really care, like nothing, right? So I had end up getting a car repo. I was like, forget it. I ain't know nothing about my credit, like nothing, right? I wasn't worried about it. Like I was like, I'll get a car, I'll get another car when it's time or whatever. So I ended up getting my car repoed, and when my lease was up, I ended up moving out to Texas, right? So I packed up all my things. I had got to rent a car, drove it down to Texas, and that first week, like everything went good. I had met my younger cousin. Like we were both in the same situation. We didn't have a place to stay, so we ended up going and started looking for apartments. The older cousin, she didn't like that. She didn't like how we was getting all close and stuff with each other and everything like that. So she ended up telling me, oh, you can't stay here anymore, because I had left because I had realized I needed to make enough money so I could put at least a down payment on an apartment with my cousin. So when I had my younger cousin, so when I left, she was just like, well, you can't come back until you got first month rent. Y'all, I had it in my mind that I had burnt that bridge with Omaha. Like I wasn't going back. Like I was just like, I'm not living there. Texas is everything bigger in Texas, right? So I was just like, you know what? I was like, you got me messed up. Man, when I tell y'all, the grind was real.